Once upon a time, there lived a twin who lived in a small village situated at the tongue of a hill. Their names were Oluoma and oluoma. They were beautiful, gentle, and kind, and they loved themselves very much. They were also orphans because they lost their parents when they were still very young. When their parents died while they were still very young, they made a promise to each other never to leave each other and will always love each other no matter what happens. They promised to face the challenges of life together and share in each other's joy and pains because they were twins. And not only that, they shared a strong bond and they loved each other very much. Many years passed, and Holoma and Noloma grew up together and became very beautiful ladies. Everyone in the village know how much they love each other and they were happy together because they have the love that no one could ever give them and it can never be compared to anything. Oluoma was fortunate to meet a fine man one day on his way back from the stream. They didn't go together that day. They started as friends and eventually fell in love as their love journey began. They got married eventually, but having a child was the only problem they had. They had been married for over 5 years, but Oluoma was unable to conceive. She will always visit Oluoma in the village and tell her how painful it is not to be able to have a child. Her husband was so rich because they moved back to the city. However, Oluoma has never stopped praying to God on her behalf to conceive. Oluoma had many times asked Oluoma to come live with them in the city, but she found it very hard and a little embarrassing. She didn't have any conviction to go live with her twin sister, as she didn't want her to be an intruder. The thought of her interfering in their private lives and invading or inconveniencing them didn't allow her. But her sister always visits her each time and will bring her plenty of gifts and foodstuffs, and always tell her how she feels being married for years and unable to have a child. She called her husband one day and told him of her plans. The husband was surprised, but he just had to hear it. She had told him she wants to marry her sister to her husband so she can get pregnant for them. The husband didn't consent to that, but she was convincing. That made the husband give in. She broke the news to her sister Oluoma, but Oluoma refused it. She cried and pleaded and reminded her of their promise to each other. That melted the sister's heart and she had to give in to it. She had no option but to accept it and marry Oluoma's husband. A few months into the marriage, Oluoma was pregnant and they were all very happy. Oluoma's husband treated her very nicely and took good care of her. A few months after Oluoma was pregnant, Oluoma conceived and the husband's joy knew no bound. He was so happy. Oluoma was very happy for her sister and for them. All of them was very happy and they had their joy differently. Her hatred for her sister starts immediately. She asked her sister to leave with her pregnancy, but the husband objected to it. She promised Oluoma to make her life a living hell. She told her she can share anything with her, but not her home and her husband. Oluoma was always very sad. She maltreated her so much, and their pregnancy was growing. Oluoma hated her sister Oluoma so much that she had many times had the thought of poisoning her. Oluoma would have given birth 3 months before Oluoma's due date, but for some reason it didn't happen, and they had to go to birth at the same time.